Well, baby, I'm on it with a bottle of wine and an old dirt road. Are you ready to go? Hey, thanks everybody for joining us today on Live Music Nation podcast. I'm your host, Jake Gill. Today we're with Dennis Gromelski from Fusion Albuquerque. Dennis, thanks for being on.
Absolutely a pleasure.
Dennis, tell us a little bit about you, where you grew up, and how you got into the position with Fusion.
I became a local to New Mexico back in 1990, so I'll never be a native, but I consider myself a resident, a local. Grew up on the East Coast, did 49 of the 50 states, living in various vehicles, and traveled the world trying to be Hemingway and Dylan at alternating times. And New Mexico is the place. And in 2001, we moved into a facility that had been vacant for 18 years and turned it, in essence, into a venue, specifically with the idea of creating creating a professional theater company, an equity company, which we remain. But in the interim, all of a sudden, we were using our venue for, in the early days when MySpace was hitting at the time, up to 100 nights of all ages music a year. You know, we had those kids from there'd be people from Florida sending daily notices and booking, in Dad's station wagon, this amazing tour that they put together. And so they'd come through on a Tuesday night. We'd put some local support together, and at that time there were tons of garage bands that could make a scene, and we get 300-400 kids on a Tuesday night. It was really
wow.
Wonderful. Yeah. That then progressed into, in 2015, we were able to move into an adjacent larger building. And in 2016, we purchased both buildings and a big open lot in between, where we started doing all kinds of outdoor events. And during COVID, when we were shut down, New Mexico had some of the longest municipality required gathering restrictions. That, and being a union theater company, we're under the same strict testing protocol that the film industry is. So it didn't make sense for us to start up theater right away. So what we did is we put all of our resource and energy and time into completing our venues. And that includes building a big outdoor stage. So now we have this really cool scalability for shows. We have one place that's wonderful for up to about 100 for singer-songwriter stuff. We have a second indoor venue, including art gallery, for about 175, and our outdoor venue has a capacity of 1,200. So,
fantastic. So what's your background? How'd you grow up? How did you get this passion for music?
Actually, growing up in New York, when I did during a crazy time, it was the onset of both the crack and the AIDS epidemics. And things were a little crazy in New York at that time. But the music was just absolutely killer and to die for. Everything from the Pier, which doesn't exist anymore, next to the Intrepid, an outdoor venue, to CBGB's, to the Lone Star Roadhouse, to a favorite of mine was the Wetlands, which kind of birthed a lot of the jam bands at the time. Yep. And music was just a constant. And it was, you had, I'm an old geezer now, but you had the electronic music was like Kraftwerk and stuff like back in the day. But in New York in particular, you had every flavor, every country, European bands, Americana, it was this incredible smorgasbord where I found myself being lured to the music more so than to, for instance, school.
Yeah.
And although not a musician, I found that it was my role within the music world to be an audience member and to be a patron and to dance my face off, and then ultimately to becoming a venue operator. We are a nonprofit, by the way. We're a 501c3, and I'm a co-founder and currently executive director of it. So
yes,
we've had consistent leadership for 20 years.
Okay, very good. What is it about live music for you that you feel like makes a connection with people?
it's a transformative experiential thing, and it's part of a big group think. I also happen to be a veteran of 150 Dead shows with Jerry at the time, and then a lot of other things. And those were experiences and experiments in groupthink and gathering and, you know, pushing limits in all kinds of various ways. And ultimately, no matter what kind of surrounded the circus, it always came down to the music. It always came down to how the music moved your soul. I also happened to have a radio show when I was a youngster in high school called Sunday Night Jazz, and Sunday Afternoon Jazz or something like that. And it was an NPR station, and I would be busting tail, like doing the recordings on reel to reel, right, of like All Things Considered and various other NPR shows, and cutting them up and trying to be a DJ in between. And that opened some wonderful doors musically as well to me.
Yeah, that's awesome. Very cool. What is the calendar look like for Fusion coming up?
Well, we just reopened to the public back around April or May, and I have not had a day off. It has been so incredibly booked and so incredibly well received. What we're doing very successfully now are collaborations with other producers. Since we have the venues now in place, I'm not trying to reinvent any wheels. We're trying to open doors for promoters and producers that, you know, that's their wheelhouse. That's what we do. So we just had an incredible 11 Sundays, and most of what we're doing is we're figuring out ways to get the funding to throw free or pay what you wish music at people, and creating a bit of an event around that, like the small crafts fair, food trucks, you know, beer and wine, that kind of thing. And we just came off an 11-week concert series, free concerts on Sundays, that paired touring world music bands with local bands. And it was so phenomenal to see the different audiences come through. Like, I thought it was going to be the same 300 people every week, you know? Yeah. But it wasn't. It was, you know, when you have Joe Tahani and the Apache Crown Dancers, that brings a completely different scene than say the New Respects when they come through. And what we're seeing now is incredible crossover between the people that are attending music events to those that are attending art gallery events, theatrical events. It's really creating a nice scene.
Is the logic there to just get them in the door, get them to the event, and then once they're there, you're going to find a way to cover your costs and your profit through either donations or concessions, but just getting them there, is that your concept? You just got to get them in the door?
Absolutely. And that's incredibly important now, coming out of what we're coming out of, right?
I wish more venue owners understood that. We see a lot of bars, clubs, whatever it is, and they're still that old school cover charge or ticket price, and even higher ticket prices, because they're trying to offset their costs because of surplus and or not surplus, but actually the opposite of that. And they're trying to make up, but they're trying to make it up for it before people even get into the facility and the venue. And what we're seeing is exactly what you're telling us. You get them in the venue first, and then everything else. And I can go down the list of places we played this summer who either charged no ticket price at all, or a very, very nominal fee, and they did successfully at a level that just blew the others out of the water.
Well, it's interesting because the space that we're in, we don't have a liquor license, right? So we can't, we don't make, most bars and stuff, they, let the band keep the door kind of thing, right? And then, they keep the bar or some combination of that.
Yeah.
But one of the things that we do is that we're collaborating on that level too. So we're bringing in various restaurateurs. We're bringing in different bars that are big music venues downtown to give them an extra piece without them having to do the work.
Yeah.
We're promoting, we're bringing people through the door, and they're, we work a cut with them on that, but it's kind of like they don't have to do all the work. They can just come and do what they do. Right.
Yes.
So I think getting people in now, particularly, that was why we did the outside venue as well. Because if people weren't going to feel comfortable coming inside,
sure,
that was our big screw you to COVID. Yeah, we're going to build a big ass stage with a 1,200 person capacity, and we're going to roll with it and see what happens. And that's really open doors. And like you said, the crossover between events, our email lists and socials have just exploded this summer because of it. So now we've got a captive audience that have had a good experience, and we're pretty much quality of experience, quality of music, how people are treated, how clean our bathrooms are, the type of food you get. It's a really positive scene, and people want to return. And an amazing thing that we're seeing is I have a son who's an EDM producer, and all of the everybody's doing everything digitally now. There's not a lot of garage bands kicking around the local high schools anymore. It's kind of wild. But we're capturing a lot of young people too. People are bringing their families, people are bringing their kids. So anytime you can bring kids into a scene like this, you're helping to build the future. So that's we look at it in that fashion.
Yeah, no, that's fantastic. That's fantastic. Dennis, how can people find out more information about Fusion Albuquerque?
Simply by going to fusionnm.org. We are a nonprofit, and there's all types of listings of the events that are going on. And it's a very vibrant scene. And one of the things I will stress is that performers have been very willing to listen to what we have to say, because we're not scared of Wednesday night shows. And Albuquerque has tended to be a flyover city, despite the fact that all the rigs are going, from Dallas or Phoenix to Denver to these other gigs, coming right through town, but not stopping to perform. So we might not have the large capacity that they're used to, but we can bring an audience. We can sell T-shirts, we can have a good quality experience. And that's something that we really hope to build on and show that, it's a very viable city. And I think the more venues we provide, the better.
No, that's fantastic. That's fantastic. Awesome. Thank you. Do you feel like this is your niche? This is your final calling, or is there something bigger in store, Dennis?
This is because of the neighborhood and where we are, and the exploding downtown that's happening. We were able to get our feet in the door early enough and to know enough people to make this happen for the arts. We sit right next to what's about to become a rail trail, a 7-mile loop that's going to change. It's Albuquerque putting on its big kid pants. We now have $35 million and all the political will by all government officials for this project. And within 2 years, it's going to be so explosive. So to answer your question, I have given up the corporate world. I used to tour and do events for big corporate entities. This is it. This is a passion project. It's who I am as a human. Everything I've done in all my years is culminating in this, and it's a legacy project for this town that I love.
That's fantastic. And I think a lot of people are going to start modeling this and you are going to be the model, Dennis. So thank you very much for what you're doing there in Albuquerque.
Appreciate the time. Thank you.
Absolutely. Thank you, Dennis.
Well, baby, I'm on it with a bottle of